Still playing with the camera, and here I am live. Oops. Now, big question is, am I going to be able to flip this around to show what's on my computer? I hope so. I think so. Let's try that out. Nobody watching? Yeah. Gonna have to hold it though. That's a thought. So there's nobody watching me yet, but I'm assuming, as usual, this is going to show up later as a something that you can watch. A pre-recorded video. I mean, this is live now. There's nobody on. Maybe somebody will join, but I'm chatting away just in case somebody watches this later on down the road. Middle of the night, and I am doing some research for my 3D metal model news video, and I found something kind of interesting that I thought about putting in the news, and I thought, I'm just going to pill around and show it now and chat about it. But sitting in front of my desk, you can kind of see behind me here my little work table where I make my build videos. There's the camera tripod on the table, my little 3D magnifying light, my soft lights pointed down at the table. Not currently building anything right now. Yeah, nice little wrapper from the snack that I had earlier. Yay. But lights are all off back there. I only got the one light on in my basement studio. Eventually, in an hour or 2 hours or 3, I don't know, I'm gonna actually record the news video, but I'm just kind of messing around down here. Hello, whoever just joined. Messing around in my little basement studio, researching for what I'm going to talk about in my news video later. Today, got a few things that I found from Picture Kingdom. I'm still looking. There is some information from MU. Well, there's something on the MU site, but the MU's site is disappointing in how it doesn't actually show anything when you click on. Turn this around here. I mention this in my news videos sometimes. Go to the MU site, and we've got a couple of new models here that I don't know anything about. But if we click on one of them and wait for it, come on. Oh, good, it's not doing anything. There we go. Let's click on that one. You get a blank page. Used to, there'd be pictures and some information, but Control All to highlight, it's actually words there. They're just the same color as the background. No pictures, but words. But the interesting thing that I wanted to chat about, one of the sites that I followed, I don't remember what it was called before, but it's now called Fascinations FKU Store. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. That's going to be bad. But it has basically turned into a clone site for, I say clone sites, a lot of copycat models is what it looks like, which I'm never usually one to promote copycat models because, I'd rather you pour the money into a company like Fascinations that's actually paid to license these. However, you got a lot of interesting things here. And I've got a couple of sites open. You got a lot of colorful models that you can't always get through Metal Earth. Not all of it's Metal Earth. This is an interesting one that you used to be able to get through Tenyo, I think, but it was on silver model. They have it here in color. Other random stuff. Here's one for people who want the Republic of Gaming model but can't get it because it's hard to find. They have a color version, knockoff color version, and that's kind of interesting. Some other random stuff thrown in here. Batmobile. little Iron Man. Just random things. Some of it copies of Metal Earth, some of it silver, some of it in color. But some of it, it's really hard to get, and now you can get it if you really wanted. Now, Republic of Gaming in silver, they have that on this website, which is AliExpress Fascinations FKU Store. It's kind of a funny name. A lot of Star Wars here. I've thought about getting a knockoff silver version of C3PO and mixing it with the golden version so that I can get that leg right, because he's supposed to have a silver leg. Oh, for anybody who's looking for that one, I found another store that's got it. Fascinations FKU Store. There was another one somewhere. Let me go back. Oh, that's to do it yourself. I got so many tabs open. We have the cat series for people who were wanting some of the silver cat models. Now, a lot of these got re-released in color, not as cat. But if you want the original silver or something like the original silver, this place has it. And I can't remember, one of these didn't get re-released in color. That's kind of why don't really want to put this in my 3D metal model news video, because I don't want to encourage people to get copycat knockoff models. But for the models that are hard to get or impossible because they quit selling them, and a lot of these are still out there, I'd say spend the money on Metal Earth, support them, and you can get free parts if stuff breaks. These three are not Metal Earth, but I don't know if I've seen that one before. If you're wanting those old cat models in silver, here's a way you can get them. If you want the Republic of Gaming, either silver or gold or in color, here's the color one. Oh, here's the silver one. And there's the color one. So, options. Just thought I'd chat about that. Fortunately, my desk doesn't come out far enough from the table or from the screen. Maybe I should switch to a bigger tripod. Pulling my camcorder off from the stand here. Should have done this to begin with. Flip that around. I'm going to set up my actual camcorder since my hands are so shaky. Forgot to lock one of the legs. Where did the thing go? I gotta take it off of this camera. Move. Fun little tripod that it was on. And we're gonna stare at the floor of my living room. Just a moment there. Apologies, as I'm realizing my equipment setup was not the best. There we go. An actual real tripod, so that's steadier. Look at that. Now I'm in my own way. That's fantastic. Move the leg. Move that. There it is. Back to the Star Wars. There's so many different models. Some neat color ones. Of course, you can get some of these color ones through Disney now, though they're Disney exclusives and can be challenging to get. I can kind of see the necessity of making things, not necessity, but the appeal of the company making things exclusives and selling them through certain outlets. You know, it creates a artificial demand and can possibly, you know, help the company raise funds to stay afloat. I can kind of see it. It's also kind of annoying from a customer standpoint to have to go to Disney parks to get some of these models, to have to order, especially online, and pay more money to get them. It's kind of aggravating. But then you have this. And again, I don't like encouraging people to get the cheaper knockoffs. There's a cost. If you break something, you're not going to be able to get replacement parts like you would with Metal Earth. Even through Disney, you get a Disney parks model. It's a Metal Earth model. You can get replacement parts. But there's something to be said. And very Star Wars, we have, what do we call this now? Iron Patriot or War Machine? I can't remember. And then there's the Darth Vader's hammer. Is that the model or just a piece of paper? It's more Star Wars Marvel. I guess it's not Star Wars anymore. It's Disney. From a certain point of view, that makes sense. That's interesting. Very interesting color choice. Sort of neon greenish thrusters. Weird. That's very colorful. I kind of like that. Or Disney, not Star Wars. Most of this stuff you can get one fashion or another. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. That's not the same as the other. Where is it? Interesting. Star Destroyer B. So that's a more realistic coloring, but we can't see the thrusters. And then we have that, which has like yellowish green accents and like blue green around the thrusters and black, and it's just an interesting color choice. Anyway, and for whatever reason, we have Duesenberg as part of this. I don't know. Yeah, I think the main reason like I said before, that I'm talking about this, I see people coming and going. Not the most interesting live stream, but the main reason I'm talking about this is because there are models in here. Well, these are not Metal Earth at all. Let me go back. There are models in here that you can't get, or at least can't easily get, through Metal Earth anymore, and you would be able to through this site. I pointed out the Republic of Gaming Eye. Here's a silver version. That's a hard one to get. Very exclusive. There's a color version. What is that? Oh, the silence. We had the cat models earlier. So if you really wanted some of the cat construction equipment, and you missed out on that. And one or more of these you just can't find anymore. Most of the cat models, again, are re-released as a different name with color, but one of them wasn't. I can't remember which one, but here they all are. If you really wanted to complete your collection and missed out on those when they were available from Metal Earth. I'm still waiting, and I'm sad that it hasn't happened. Probably the most sought after Metal Earth model is the Disney exclusive castle. Which castle? They have that special event I can't remember the name of, and they came out with this castle for that, and it was very limited, and only a small number of people got it, and they stopped making it. It's like the D23. It's a D23 castle. I think it's the Sleeping Beauty castle. I actually have it, luckily. Give me a second. I'm going to flip it around here. I actually have this model, and it is the very exclusive one. I believe it was given or sold at the D23 and for a short time after, and once they were gone, they were gone. So a lot of people that want this model, I was very fortunate that someone gave this to me to build, and I have it as part of my collection. I wonder why this one never got copied. Of all the ones to copy for these copycat sellers, you think they would go after that one because so many people are after that. They can actually charge a decent premium for it and make up their money. But I never see it in any of these collections. I see other Disney stuff. You just saw some Disney stuff earlier, some castles. Here we are. Here's some. But you can get these. That's not a castle. But if they would just add this guy to it, they would have something. Have something that a lot of people are after. But they don't do that. I don't know if they don't know. Oh, I've got so many tabs open. I'm going to thin this out. It's just fun to look through these every now and then and see what they're copying and if they've basically brought a model back from the dead. And I saw another one up here. The Mass Effect lineup was never a very big seller. At least I didn't get the impression it was. I've got all the silver ones. And I think you can still find those some places because they just didn't sell and they're still leftover ones for sale here and there. But this is another way that if you were a big Mass Effect fan, now you can apparently get them in color. I feel a little less guilty about buying something that Metal Earth stopped selling because it didn't sell well enough to keep it in their lineup. I feel less guilty about buying that from a different manufacturer. One thing that I have yet to see anybody bother to copy, and it's really sad, is the Legends models, which I think I have all of them, not all of them built. I've seen the Flintstones ones copied, I think. And I think you can still get that one. The Flintstones is kind of a Legends, but kind of not. But like all those little square-headed Marvel characters and DC characters and Lord of the Rings characters and Bugs Bunny stuff, I've never seen anybody copy that. You have a lot of vehicles over here. And again, for those people zooming in and out, I'm looking through the Fascinations FKU store on AliExpress. and it's something that was saved in my favorites, but I think the store went away, and I don't remember what it was before. And if you're familiar enough with AliExpress, you've been on it a while, you can save stores as like favorited stores, and that's what I do to keep an eye on what's coming out or what's out there when I do my 3D metal model news, which I was in the process of doing when I decided to set up the camera and start recording, because I wanted to talk about this site. But this store was in my favorites. It just kind of died, but I never deleted it. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because today, whatever it was, it's back, and now it's the Fascinations FKU, and I don't think that's what it was before. I don't remember what it was. I've had stores that I've had quite a few stores that I've added to my favorite stores, and they just died. They just went away, stopped being a thing. I think this is the first time one's come back, much less come back as something brand new. Seen that somewhere, but not Metal Earth. Got those in Metal Earth, though. Are those the same colors? Where are mine? Yeah, there they are. There's two of them. My models are right over here. You can see two of them right there in the back corner. And then the third one right there. Carefully setting back down. There we go. Taxi, beach buggy. Is that the Hogwarts Express? It's a train station. Can't remember which one. I think that's Japanese train station. So I think it was a Tenyo model, and I think theirs was silver. And I've just never picked it up. Oh, I missed the mic. The penny farthing. It looks like it's in color. One of the Fords. Another, the Mustang. That, I think, we've got this in silver. And that is the first, if not one of the first, non-licensed models that I ever built, was that train. At the time, I was pretty much just building Star Wars models, and there was only maybe 8 Star Wars models out. The channel was very new. I think maybe some Star Trek models had came out. I had probably 7 or 8 models at that point, and somebody really wanted me to build this, and so I did. And I built the silver version. Interesting. What does that call itself? EF 510 train. Oh, colorful. So again, it's not all Metal Earth stuff. There's some Tenyo stuff in here. There's some other random stuff. This is the train set that it looks like. There was one of 3 box sets that Metal Earth released, 3 or 4. And the train set was several different trains in one box. Got that. It was all silver. There's the silver version. Colored version of Freightliner, snowplow, and dump truck. And this has some serious 80s Optimus Prime vibes on it. I kind of like this color. But that is the Freightliner COE, or cab over engine. It's a style of truck you don't see on the road hardly ever anymore, but was super popular when I was a little one. Yeah, very Optimus Prime vibes there too. Kind of want to get that, just because it's an old Nissan 280, or was it a Datsun 280? Probably a Datsun that age. Scooter. I believe that's a Disney train. Yeah, the Disney monorail. And that's got to be a little go-kart thing. I'm just kind of speeding through now. There's so much to look at. I could waste so much time doing this. And I see for most people, they're just kind of coming and going. It's not the most interesting thing. That's fine. we have another exclusive model, which I don't know if you can get this anymore. I'm sure it's still out there. It probably can be found. It's probably nowhere near as impossible as the infamous castle. But this is color and just inexpensive right here on AliExpress. And there you go. That was one that was released with the Blade Runner movie, which I got because I was curious to see the movie. And I don't think it sold as well as they had hoped. So there was a lot of leftovers at the time, and you may still be able to find it. Don't know which one, I don't want to say flopped, but I don't know which one flopped worse. This exclusive or the red Millennium Falcon from Target, because I think this was the spinner was a Walmart exclusive paired with the movie. And it came, I think, after the Target exclusive of one of the Star Wars movies paired, I think it was a solo movie, paired with the red Millennium Falcon, which I have. And it was pre-ordered. You had to have the Target red card, which I got the Target red card. It was the only reason and only thing I've used that red card for. And I think the pre-orders, like it came to fruition, and it was no longer pre-order, and they pretty quickly moved it so that you could just buy the model itself. I'm guessing maybe they left it as pre-order combination movie and model, expecting that they would run out, and they didn't, and so they had to clear them out, opened it up so anybody could buy it. I don't think Metal Earth ever released that as a Batmobile, did they? So I know I've seen this. I'm looking over my Batmobile stuff, wherever it's at. Where's my Batmobile stuff? Yep, nope. Don't see it over there. My Batmobile stuff is way over here in the darkness. Boink. Forward just a little bit so I can reach my mouse. All right. Just bumming around, looking at all the different things that they have here. This is interesting. There's a lot of stuff. It looks like a lot of stuff in here that isn't Metal Earth. I don't know if maybe some of this was Tenyo. Oh, no, we're never buying that model again. I don't care how you color it. I am never doing that disaster again. If you think the Beretta, just in case you don't know, in case you think that the Beretta looks cool and like a good idea, it is not. You will want to shoot it with an actual Beretta, assuming you have a Beretta or a gun. That is a terrible model. It's never improved. It just keeps coming back in its terrible form, but with more color. That's an interesting thing. What the shit is that? Oh, Mirage building. Bat Starship. Is that supposed to be a Batmobile or something else? I don't know. Cyclone Fighter. This has got to be some sort of anime or movie or some universe that I'm just not familiar with. The sunflower and the colorful sunflower. I've seen that before. Cross. Shoes. I've seen that before. Then following 3D metal models, building 3D metal models, looking at websites and catalogs and information and building and doing news videos for what, 2 or 3 years now, building models for something like 7 or 8 years. I've seen so many things that I'm just completely losing track of some of it at this point. My brain just doesn't hold on to all the information. That I've seen that before. Not sure about that. Chinese Respect. RESPECT. Phone booth with wastebasket. Telescope. And different kind of movie projector. A bus. That Land Rover. Jeeps. I don't know if you can see. You hover over this and it gives the name that says JEEPS. That looks more like a Land Rover. Wu-Tang Bridge. Box Girl. Oh, I've never seen Box Girl before. And is that Box Boy? I do have a box figure, and it's from some sort of manga or manga. I always say that wrong. Or anime or something that I got for cheap, and it looked like fun, and I built it. But it wasn't either one of these two, but it looks very similar to these two. That's dangerous looking. I've seen these things before, but it's been so long. Under. I believe the silver canine was discontinued and replaced with a color one. So if you wanted a silver canine, here's a way you can get it. Look at these buildings. What is that? Trevi Fountain. Not familiar with that. Notre Dame. Soju Garden. Slightly familiar with it. Oh, Taipei 101. I remember seeing that, thinking about buying it at some point. Not a Metal Earth model. Same Basel. That is Metal Earth and probably Tenyo and Peace School. Or yeah, Peace School and maybe Tenyo. Taj Mahal. We've seen this a lot of times. Temple of Heaven. I don't think Metal Earth ever released that one. Big Ben. That is a different version of Big Ben. I've got two versions. I've got one that's just the tower, and that's the Metal Earth version, and I've got the not they call them premium now. The oh goodness, I forgot the name of the larger version. Iconics. The Iconics version, which was bigger than that. But that's just like the tower and a little piece. Interesting. Oh, Bank of China Tower. Queen Anne's Revenge. I think I've got that. I think I've had that for years. I've just never built it. Just never got around to it. Flying Dutch Wan. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Dutchman, and it's just consistently misspelled. But I could be wrong. Yellow Crane Tower. I got a knockoff version of this somewhere that I never built, I think, or some sort of tower pagoda. Tangwang Pavilion. The bike. Got that. One of the monster trucks, probably the first one. In the Roman Colosseum. And the Osaka Castle. I mentioned earlier talking about the train being the first like non-licensed, non-Star Wars model. I've said it a bunch of times, when I started making these models, it was all Star Wars, and Star Wars was only a very small part of Middle Earth. There was a lot of other models I didn't care about. And then Star Trek models came out, and I like that because I'm a big Trek fan. And then Transformers, and I waited forever for those. And then Mass Effects and Halo, I got into that a little bit. but I wasn't much for the regular stuff, the architectural stuff, or the trains. The train kind of opened my eye a little bit, but someone requested the Osaka Castle, and I built that, and I love that model. I just totally fell in love with that model. So hello, Thuthu fan. You're the first person to say anything to me in this live stream. How are you tonight, this morning, or whatever it is where you are? Just piddling around looking at this new store that I found. I was saying someone had requested the Osaka Castle, and I absolutely loved that build. So for the people coming and going, you've heard me rattle on. It's 1:40 in the morning where I'm at, and I'm basically putting together information for my 3D metal model news, which I hope to have finished and out Sunday evening, at least by 6, if not sooner, 6 p.m. or sooner. And I'm looking through my AliExpress collection of stores that I've favored, and found this one store. Well, Thaithu, I see you're not that great at English. I appreciate you trying. Hi, I don't know how well you understand me, but thank you for watching. As I was saying, I found this store in my favorites, and I think it was another store that kind of stopped or closed down. And I noticed tonight when I was going through that it was back, and it has a new name. And the name I find really fascinating. It's Fascinations FKU Store. And if you actually try to say that in English, it sounds, it's not spelled like the bad word, but it sounds like a pretty bad word, dirty word, however you want to say it, if you try to actually pronounce that. I find that amusing, but I also just kind of fascinated by the large collection of sort of copycat models that they had. And I'm not usually one to promote copycat models. I'd rather spend the money on the people who hold the licenses to sell the model so that they stay in business and can bring nicer, newer models. But in this situation, they have a lot of models that you can't easily find. They have some exclusive models in their store, in their lineup. Excuse me, getting the hiccups here. That they're either impossible, extremely difficult to find, and they have a few models that have been discontinued, like the Mass Effects models over here, which are really not that hard to find, I don't think. They're discontinued, but I think they're still out there. You have the Republic of Gaming model. They have the silver and a color version. I think you might still be able to get this model, but I think at this point you pretty much have to buy a new like $1,000 plus laptop or find it on eBay. So not impossible, but challenging. They have the cat model lineup, which the silver ones are hard to find. Some of them impossible. One of them has been, several of them got brought back in other colors, but one of them never did. There's just a number of models that they have that you can't get. The silver K9 has been discontinued. And then I just went from there to bumming around looking at all the different stuff that they have, because there's a lot of models that Fascinations of Metal Earth never came out with, and I'm just wasting time at this point looking through their collection of models. Yes, that is the UNSC Scorpion. So we do have some Halo models in here. That was another one that's been discontinued for some time, and they're getting harder to find. This is not the silver version, and it is, I didn't enjoy all the Halo models. There were a couple of them that were just really challenging to build, and this was absolutely one of them. This is probably the worst to build of the Halo lineup, in my opinion. I had so much trouble putting the top parts together that it frightens me, the idea of buying this as a copycat under the parentheses um, copycat model, because the quality of copycat models tends to not be as good. Parts break easier, and I had trouble with parts breaking on this with the official Metal Earth model. And that's an interesting pink camouflage. Oh, that looks embarrassingly American right there. Review the Churchill tank. I can try. I'm gonna make a note of that. I don't know that I've ever built the Churchill. I don't think I've ever built the Churchill tank. Who makes that? I'm gonna add that to my list. I just made a note. If at all possible, I will build and review the Churchill tank. Don't build nowhere near as much as I used to, and I miss it. But working full time now, and plus everything else in my life, it's challenging. That's a neat looking one. I don't believe this was ever Metal Earth lineup, Destroyer, but I think that'd be fun to add. A lot of these are in color, which were never offered or weren't offered in color in the original model lineup. So if you are wanting some of these models in color, there's just an option for you. I would be curious to know how good a quality these models are. Is everything on here the same brand? Are they all the same quality, or is it just a random mix of stuff? I'm almost curious enough to try and get one or two of these and see. What else do we have? This looks very Disney. Looks like Beatles themed musical instruments. There's a lot here, all thrown into quite a few different categories. And I don't know that I'm going to keep rambling on about this, because I've just about looked through everything. And it's fascinating. I don't want to put this in my news video, because it's going to lengthen it quite a bit. And like I've said before, I don't want to encourage people to buy a lot of copycat models, because that does take away from the company that licenses it. And there's caveats with the quality being possibly more questionable and not being able to get replacement parts. But I did want to talk about it, so I thought I'd throw myself on a live YouTube video. I've already rambled on for over 40 minutes, and just at this point repeat myself about how this is a way to get some of the discontinued models. This is a way to get some of the models that were never offered in color. So check it out if you want. AliExpress, look for Fascinations FKU Store. It's either an old store that came back and renamed itself because it was already in my favorites list, or yeah, it's got to be some sort of old store that came back with a new name. So there you go. I'm going to sign off and get back to finishing my news video. I found a couple of things here tonight. Where did I put them? I'm going to be talking about these two models, a couple from Picture Kingdom, and I was hoping to find, oops, I hit the wrong button there. I was hoping to find these two from MU, because the MU site just, there's nothing there except for some hidden text. And they used to be more informative, but I'm almost through my list and I haven't found them. So I'm gonna have to pull this text and just kind of speculate on the one picture that I have available, which is these two, bronze sacred tree and magpie linglong. And it looks like it's going to be these two and these two in today's video, because that's pretty much all I'm seeing. But thank you to those of you that joined me in this video, and have a good night or morning or whatever. And I'm going to get back to work and actually put together a news video to come out later Sunday, and maybe take a nap. Thank you. Hope your family is doing well. Metal Mania, it's nice to hear from you. I know you're not on the same time zone as me, but I hope you have a good morning or day or whatever's going on there. Have a good one, everybody. I am signing off.